Hope all you ladies and gents are doing fantastic in 2022 so far. This is the Kobo Sage Power cover. We're going to keep a super casual video here today because we have a lot to cover. No pun intended, all pun intended. Why is this here? Well, as you may know, the Kobo Sage has a very small battery, and we're just going to put some comparisons here to show you guys. As an example, the Kobo Sage has a 1200 milliamp battery. Now that might not seem very bad on its own, but when you put it up against, say, an iReader XS Pro at 1800, the Libra 2 from the same company at 1500, the perennial favorite of ours, Note 3 by Onyx, 4300, and as a massive example, the Dasung Not Reader at 6400 milliamps. It soon starts to become apparent that the Sage battery life is pretty small. Some people are actually reporting 5 or 6 hours of total battery life when note-taking. And remember, the Kobo Sage is not just a regular e-reader. It requires you to have a note-taking experience via the stylus. You don't have to use it, but that's what they're kind of pushing on it. So they've made this. This is the Kobo Sage Power cover. Now, unlike the Oasis 1, where the device itself had 240 milliamps, which is nothing, and the case had most of the grunt, this one is not supposed to be that way. In fact, the official capacity of this case is 1200 milliamps, thus making it the exact same capacity of the Sage, but when connected, doubling the total. However, let's crack it open and show you guys what the retail packaging looks like, and the holder for the pen, because there's supposed to be a pen holder in there. And here it is, the Kobo Sage Power cover. What I like about the recent Kobo stuff is that they're using this see-through paper, which is really nice because it sure beats plastic, because we should be reducing as much plastic as possible. This is kind of the best of both worlds. It's protective, and it's see-through, it's translucent or transparent, or whatever level of transparency, and it's prospectively paper, because we've ripped this before and it certainly does feel like paper. So we're going to go ahead and open up the information here just to show you what all this is. This is a kind of hard to deal with packaging, and we open packages on a daily basis. This one's a little bit troublesome. So we have a quick start guide in here, many different languages. It tells you how to do everything. If you lose your quick start guide, you can refer to this video and just pause it on any of these panels if you feel the need to do so. Alright, and we have the warranty information. So the warranty information is just this really long list of terms and all that stuff that you have to agree to in order to use it. I'm just kidding, you don't have to click agree. So how do you open this thing now? I have no idea. I think you actually have to rip it open. And it does look like you do have to rip it. We like to keep these as nice as possible in case we have to do a giveaway or something like that. We just don't want to mess with the... And I ripped it. See, it is paper. Okay, we're just going to rip it open now. So it is paper, which is really nice, and it proves my point. Alright, this thing right out of the gates is very heavy. There's a lot of heft to this, so you can tell there's a battery in it. This is not a light cover. It's not one of those really thin sleep cover kind of things. So it tells you how to do everything. It has a magnet on the bottom there, and it has a pen magnet there, and it has a USB port there. So it is very simple, and I'm wondering if this is just folded for making it thicker, for the purposes of making it thicker. It is. There doesn't look like to be anything else in there. I'm going to put that off to the side. And here is the case itself. The bottom base is a extremely unmalleable. This does not move. This doesn't move at all. It's a very super hard plastic. And this one is going to be a nice kind of felt insert with a leather exterior, and the leather wraps over to the back like that. It has a pattern, but it is not on purpose. That just looks like a random result of the manufacturing process. Doesn't look bad, just saying as it is. And if you open this up, it should have a pen slot for it right here, and it is magnetic, so it's not just... Yeah, it is definitely magnetic. There is some pull right around the center right there, so it's pulling it and snapping it to the bottom. It does not seem to be reliant on orientation. It just snaps regardless of which way the pen is sitting. I should pull down from this little rip strip here. There it is. We'll leave the plastic on. We don't need to take the plastic off. Power button is on the back. Press and hold that to turn it on. If you get confused as to what way this is supposed to go in, don't be confused. There's 4 little copper contact pins on the top left corner of this unit. And we say top left corner because primarily people hold this with their right hand. That way is going into where the other copper contact pins are going to be, and when you put it in, it should automatically start charging. When you have it installed like this, it's going to actually say to you, charging from power cover, and it'll tell you the power cover is 100% and the e-reader is 55%. As it charges from the power cover, it will go down here. This will go all the way down to, actually, if it's out of battery, sometimes we've seen it say -1. So you can go ahead and pull this apart anytime you want. When you do pull it apart, it's just going to simply say your e-reader level, and then if you put it back, it requires no initialization, no setup, anything like that, and it'll just be charging from the case. Whenever the little thing shows up there, it'll say connect if it's not properly seated. So that is a way to give you an indication on whether you've done it properly or not. This is the power cover. There is no USB port on the power cover itself. It requires you to have the USB port on there. When you do have it all together, it is extremely heavy. It is very bulky now, and the advantage is it still has the sleep cover feel, and it does have a pen holster, but it's kind of like we're reverting back to the Oasis 1, where the power cover has become somewhat necessary, and this isn't free. It is a $100 depending on the market you're purchasing it from. Am I trying to be negative around this? No, we're trying to be real about this, because out of the gates, the Sage has only been blessed or cursed with a 1200 milliamp battery. And in the age of 2022, when things are more demanding, it just doesn't feel like enough, even on ebook readers. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down below. You can buy this from our website if you're having trouble sourcing one, for goodyreader.com, and an overview of the Kobo Power Case 4, specifically the Kobo Sage. This is Peter.